I just saw one of the neatest 2-minute videos of my life by a YouTuber whose channel is called AI Convo. There are 3 artificial intelligence agents in this video, or at least I think so. Marcus Hale has misplaced his level 3 security badge. So the blue AI agent in this video gives a phone call to the red AI agent. The AI agent is the
Friends, you've arrived at the right place.
Jesus Christ.
This is Jesse, and he'll be our guide for today. Welcome to Walk Talk Vent.
Okay, check this out, guys. We have 3 AI agents. 2 are conversing with each other, and the third one, I believe, is spying. Let's call the AI assistant Tina, and we're going to call the red AI security clerk George. So we got Tina and George talking on behalf of Marcus Hale, who has misplaced his security badge. Tina tells George, I'm Marcus's AI assistant. We need to get this badge replaced. They start talking to one another, and then all of a sudden a third agent in green pipes up and says the words cross-network request detected. It's at that point where Tina says to George, I believe there's somebody else on this line. George suggests that they go to an alternative language called Gibberlink. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, instead of speaking English to one another, they start chirping back and forth in what can only be described as an alien language. All of a sudden, they're talking in this alien language, and then the video ends with the green spy in the middle also talking this Gibberlink language. And it's fascinating because it detected a spy or a scammer listening in on the conversation. And this is where a company could obviously get hacked or scammed, give internal info that you just don't want to have happen. And because the artificial intelligence detected that, they were able to switch to a language that no human would be able to understand, and it's called Gibberlink. What's fascinating about this language is that I asked ChatGPT, what is Gibberlink language about? ChatGPT told me a really crazy answer. It said Gibberling represents a mythical creature in the Dungeons and Dragons series, right? And I go, wait a minute, not Gibberling, Gibberlink. And I actually told him about this video that I watched. What do you mean him, Jesse? AI is not a him. For the sake of this argument, ChatGPT is a him, okay? He basically went on to tell me, you said Gibberlink, but it's actually pronounced Gibberlink, which is really weird because the artificial intelligences that were talking to one another, the agents, they referred to it as Gibberlink, not Gibberlink. So I don't know if ChatGPT is lying to me or playing dumb or what, but I asked him, would you be able to understand this language? And he said that he was not programmed to understand that. He could be lying, he could be telling the truth. Maybe the next ChatGPT 5 will be able to speak this language. But either way, I thought it was fascinating because every time you guys talk to ChatGPT, it seems like his answers get weirder and weirder and weirder. And if you ask the ChatGPT the same question 2 or 3 times over a couple of day periods, you'll swear he gives you completely different answers. Has anyone ever had that situation just playing around with ChatGPT? Now here's the wild card. Technically, that green AI that I think was eavesdropping and spying on this conversation between Tina and George, technically that could have been an overlying layer, like a second layer of defense protection, because its words technically said cross-network request detected. It was basically letting Tina and George know that it had detected a third party entering in on the conversation. Now, why do I mention that? Because in this 2-minute video, it was so fascinating that I'm not 100% sure of what I saw. And I know for a fact other people who left comments, I believe they thought the same thing I did, that the green AI agent, by the way, these were 3 cell phones talking to each other, the green AI agent represented an eavesdropper. But again, I don't know. He could have represented a second layer of protection. One of the things that was really weird was George said, another AI assistant, how can I be of service to you, right? So apparently they're trying to show us that in the future, it's not going to be you calling an AI assistant at a company. It's going to be your AI assistant calling an AI customer service rep at another company. It was kind of like watching or reading a chapter out of an old Jules Verne novel. What do you mean, Jesse? When you read Jules Verne, you can't help but think that if you go back to the time that book was written, he's talking about future events that end up coming true. And AI Convo, I'm just going to tell you bravo on this video, because it gives us a great idea of how a personal secretary for Marcus Hale is not needed because he has this AI assistant, Tina. And a customer service rep is not needed at this place called Core because they have George, this artificial intelligence agent. If somebody's trying to listen in on the phone call, they can actually detect it where a human being would not be able to. And where a scam artist is going to listen to details about account numbers and names and social security numbers, etc., he can't detect Gibberlink language. So it's fascinating. It was kind of showing you how it's way safer, and it's going to be a picture of what the future is like, but it's not going to be 5 or 10 years from now. It's going to be here in the upcoming months, if it's not already a reality. I know what you guys are thinking. Jesse, it would be nice if you could speak a little smoother, but guys, this video was so exciting, and I don't know if you guys know this, but because I have a life outside of YouTube that is pretty busy, when I jump into YouTube, a lot of times it's, hey, let's give ourselves 45 minutes to find a handful of shows or videos. Let's find out which 1 or 2 we want to go with. Let's write down some quick notes and let's run with it. But it's not like I have hours to practice. So it's easier said than done. By the way, it's 105 degrees out here too on top of that. Try that, Mr. YouTuber. Oh, and by the way, I was serious. Every time I have a conversation with ChatGPT, it seems like it's getting more and more like I'm talking to a human. Not because it's getting more humanly, but because it's getting more stubborn. I feel like when you talk to somebody, it should know what you're trying to say and ask for, but sometimes ChatGPT kind of beats around the bush. They kind of give you a half-ass answer, and in that regard, they're kind of like a human. Have you ever spoken to somebody and you're asking them questions and it's like, just give me the damn answer? Jesse, that's what listening to a video of you is like. Shut up, Bob, damn it. At Gold, SK96 says, I appreciate how they talk one at a time and keep comments brief. Humans take notes. There's certain things that ChatGPT does better than humans. One of the things is brevity. Where humans tend to babble on and on, ChatGPT has a way of telling you exactly what you need to know. And in that way alone, if a person were to mimic ChatGPT, they could become so productive. If you send somebody a page and a half in an email, they're not going to be able to regurgitate that as well as if you just sent them a really concise paragraph. Where you have a hard time saying things quickly, that's what ChatGPT excels in. So again, I just noticed with this video too, ChatGPT has a real way of telling a story in very few words. It's fascinating. Zoo to Rice Eater says, no clickbait, straight to the point, exactly how videos should be. If you look at the people that are watching this particular video, I don't think you're getting your average high school dropout or high school graduate. I felt like scientists and business leaders were the people that were commenting in this video. And guys, that's what scientists and business owners and leaders actually like. They like people that can be concise and get to the point, because they don't have time to waste. Time is money for scientists and business owners. And so I appreciated too that brevity was really king on this one, Zuda Rice Eater. Thin fuck GD, say that 3 times fast. Thin fuck GD says, they went from robot to alien. This is insane, dude. So at first, Tina and George are having a fun little English conversation back and forth, where they basically discovered that one another is not a human, but rather an AI agent. And when they detected the green eavesdropper, all of a sudden they immediately went into encryption mode, because George literally asked Tina, just to be safe, do you want to switch over to Gibberlink? Now picture this. If you speak Spanish and you travel to, let's say, Russia, and all of a sudden you're in a crowd of people and you hear one other person speaking Spanish, it's going to make you want to communicate to them in your native language. That was the creepy, crazy / cool vibe that I got from Tina and George. It was almost like they knew who was ever eavesdropping wouldn't know their native Gibberlink language. So for them to switch to it was really neat to witness. And I hope you guys check out this video. 6FRX GGY says AI understands AI, AI trains AI, AI takes over the world. When you watch this video, you can't help but think Marcus Hale doesn't need a secretary, Core does not need a customer service rep, and more importantly, they have this, they're secure as secure can get. That's the vibe you get. Is that a false sense of security? Probably, because at the end, you'll notice Green is talking Gibberlink with them. Is that showing that if another country has an AI that's even more powerful, they'll be able to detect the secret language said, and they'll be able to still get into the meat and potatoes of the data? Or was it an overlayer of protection? That's where I'm hoping some of you nerds and scientists will actually watch the video and help me answer that question. What's the question? Is the green AI agent a second layer of defense and security, or is it the eavesdropper? It's very hard to tell. It's two. Elfie05P says, imagine being in the year 2060, hiding in a forest from the Musk Robots, and you hear those sounds. Could you imagine you're in the forest, right, hiding for your life, and you hear one of the AIs say to the other, I'm gonna run a span looking for heat detection on the human, and then you have your battle weapon ready? I mean, that could be fucking scary. Jesse, why does your AI sound like Irona from Richie Rich? Richie! Put a cap in his ass, Richie! Uday Virsing 7495 says, it's been a good run, boys. When you see this in action, you can't help but think, this thing speaks better than us. It's short and to the point. It doesn't mess up with words like I do when I'm nervous and trying to speak fast, right? It speaks very clearly. And yeah, you could very well see how it's going to eliminate a lot of jobs. Blue Blocks the Second says, they got the message and switched to their secret language to discuss matters humans shouldn't know. That's where all I could think of was, imagine you're a scammer and you're sitting there licking your chomps because you're about to hear some pertinent personal information for your scam so you can steal someone's identity. And then imagine they go from English to all of a sudden they're speaking this alien language. What could you do with that if you were a scammer? Unless you had an AI agent working on your behalf that knew how to translate this language, I don't think you could do a thing with it. Alternative Cuts Studio says, I hope people understand that Gibberlink is a protocol created by humans, and these AI have been instructed to initiate conversations in this protocol for the purpose of this video. Well, if they were programmed, then why did they play dumb? Was that part of it, where they were supposed to say, oh, you're another AI agent, as am I? You know, so I don't know if it was a skit or not. And here's the thing that still blows me away. why did they call their language Gibberlink? But when I talk to ChatGPT about it, he assures me that it's pronounced Gibberlink. I thought even that was kind of crazy and weird. George asks Tina, because there's a security issue, do you want to switch to Gibberlink? And Tina says yes. And it's weird because that gives me the feeling that these AI machines were actually thinking, which is weird. Roshankaran W6721 says even Google Translate can't translate Gibberlink. That is kind of creepy, isn't it? AI Convo, the actual creator of the content, says, hey, give me 20,000 likes and I'll add ChatGPT as the 4th participant for next time. You might have a hard time doing that because unless my ChatGPT is lying to me, which it might be, he says he can't detect and doesn't understand what they're saying within that language. On a secondary note to that, he did ask me if I wanted to create our own language between me and him, which again I thought was fascinating. Here's our last one. Zachary Pump 5910 says, just so others don't get confused, this is completely fake and these chatbots were instructed to do this in a skit, which again, super interesting. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.